Welcome to part 3 of our review of Obi-Wan Kenobi, the new Star Wars miniseries on Disney+. I'm Go Burns, and I'm joined by a very special guest who may join us for parts 4, 5, and 6. Hello, Riley.
Hello.
So, we just finished watching part 3, well, I guess Wednesday night, early Thursday morning. And overall, we're going to try at first, real quickly, to just say non-spoiler opinion about it, whether it was great, good, okay, mixed bag, bad, awful, terrible. And then we'll quickly move on to spoilers. By the way, if you want to check out my reviews of part 1 and 2, they're listed over, obviously, on the channel and in my Star Wars playlist over on my gaming channel. So, what is your honest opinion of the series so far into parts 1, 2, and 3?
I would say right now it's kind of average.
Yeah.
In some ways, it feels boring. And I just, like, the characters sometimes, yeah, sure, Ewan McGregor's there and young Leia's there. They're trying to do their best, but, like, some areas is like, well, can you shut up? Or I just don't want to hear you, or...
Wow.
Just show me something interesting instead of hearing these two talk. I know that they're supposed to talk because, you know,
Yeah, well, they're trying to build up the relationship between Obi-Wan and Leia.
Yeah, like backstory,
while they're on
origin
the
story,
run,
and character development.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like, they do it in these areas where nothing's happening and it feels kind of boring. Like, for example, you know when you see them, like, walking down a pathway?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in spoilers.
Yeah.
But really quick, what did you think of part 3 compared to parts 1 and 2? How would you rank them so far?
I would say part 3 is the best one.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's not comparing, like, that.
Yeah,
big.
that's not...
Because the first two are eh.
Yeah, mixed bag. So it's better than a mixed bag. So.
Yes, that's not saying much.
But other than that, I guess we can go ahead and get into spoilers now, because going forward, it's mostly spoilers because most of you that are still watching the reviews already know what happened in part 1 and 2 and probably already know what's happening in part 3 going forward. So it's mostly going to be spoiler related with a little bit of non-spoiler part at the beginning. So let's go ahead and dive into spoilers. We have Obi-Wan and young Leia on the transport ship leaving Crime Planet for Mining Planet. I forgot what Mining Planet was called.
Yeah, it started with an M.
Yeah, M. M for Mining Planet. There we go.
Yeah.
And so they get on Mining Planet, which is controlled by the Empire, obviously, because the entire galaxy is controlled by the Empire. Mm-hmm. And Obi-Wan was talking about how the planet once had, like, a larger population.
Lots of families, farmers, people just happy ever after.
And it's basically over a 10-year period been stripped by the Empire.
Yep.
And they were supposed to meet at this rendezvous place with somebody, but they didn't show up. And so Leia sees somebody coming down the distance and, you know, kind of like a ground land cruiser transport type truck.
Yeah.
And she, like, flags him up. It's like, hey, hey. And they have this whole discussion who they're going to pretend to be parents from the planet Tau. I think I remember the fake planet. I remember the fake planet. Well, it's an obvious planet in the Star Wars galaxy. But they're pretending to be farmers, father, daughter. And so the mole person, I think his name's Freck. He comes across as very friendly, but it turns out he's actually pro-Empire.
Yeah.
So he's very friendly towards the Empire, but he's a friendly guy.
Yes.
So he picks up Obi-Wan and Leia. He doesn't know that he's a Jedi. He just assumes they're, you know, farmer daughter.
Yeah.
And then he also picks up some stormtroopers.
Stormtroopers, yes.
And so they have a little back and forth between the stormtroopers and Obi-Wan. They're asking, have you seen any Jedi?
Yeah, some banter.
Yeah, in front of a guy that kind of looks like a Jedi.
Yes.
And then he's like, no, I'm a farmer, and this is my daughter, Luma. And
it just shows you how dumb they are.
Yeah. But
even without using, like, force tricks on them.
Yeah, but while he's trying to tell him this fake story about how they've come to this mining planet because this is where allegedly Luma's mom is from, you know, Obi-Wan kind of slips and says Leia instead of Luma. And then the stormtrooper's like, what? I thought her name was Luma. And then Obi-Wan quickly corrects himself, like, no, that was the name of her mom. And, you know,
yeah.
And she just reminds me so much of her mom. And he's not really lying. He's telling the truth from a certain point of view because he does. I mean, Leia does remind him of Padme, so it's kind of true. And then Leia, after the stormtroopers got off the transport, you know, she kind of confronted him about it, like, hey, you knew my mom, didn't you? Like, I don't know my real mom, but you know my mom. And, you know, of course, Obi-Wan's like, He didn't want to talk about it,
Yeah, and the same thing, he asked him, I mean, she asked him the same question, like, are you my dad, my real father?
Yeah.
And obviously, like, it's good for character development for Leia.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But, honestly, I kind of enjoyed that scene of the whole stormtrooper, and because it was kind of funny.
Yeah. It was meant to be a tense moment, but the issue that's happening here, and it's going to continue in part 3 that happened in part 1 and 2, is we already know what becomes of these characters.
Yeah.
We already know that Leia's going to be okay. We already know that Obi-Wan will be okay up until A New Hope. Mm-hmm. So the tension's not really there, even though they try.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with prequels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, on Mustafar at Vader's castle, he's having a conversation with Third Sister through a hologram. And by the way, it does show Hayden Christensen is actually wearing the armor of Vader, but James Earl Jones is actually voicing Vader. So that's pretty cool.
It kind of works.
Yeah. And, so he's having a discussion with Third Sister succeeding the Grand Inquisitor. Allegedly, the Grand Inquisitor's dead. And she blames it on Obi-Wan, I think. Like, yeah, Obi-Wan killed the Grand Inquisitor. And then Vader's like, I don't give a shit about the Grand Inquisitor. I just want Obi-Wan. And if you help me, then you will be the new Grand Inquisitor. But if you fail me, you will live to regret it.
Pretty much. So, in other words, I think she's going to die.
Probably.
Yeah.
She probably is. And, of course, they have the Inquisitor's planet on this water world. And I forgot the name of that planet. It is actually in Jedi Fallen Order, so that's kind of a spoiler of sorts, because that is like the Inquisitor's planet and their base of operations, and you end up going there in Jedi Fallen Order. Very small spoiler. But you have 3 Inquisitors there. You have Third Sister show up. You have Fifth Brother. Then the other sister is Fourth Sister. And there's obviously this beef between Fifth Brother and Third Sister. Fifth Brother wants...
Between all of them.
Well, Fourth Sister's kind of on the side.
No, you see her around giving First Sister this pissed off face look all the time.
Yeah.
So I guess they're all in it for each other.
Yeah, the Inquisitors, I think that's the way that the Emperor and Vader kind of have the Inquisitors, where they're constantly at each other's throats so that they don't all turn on Vader and the Emperor.
Yeah.
They're always having this fight over the pecking order. But I still don't believe that the Grand Inquisitor's dead.
Yeah, it would be too easy.
Especially since it's a major retcon. Like, Rebels, he's in Rebels. And Rebels takes place after the events in Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And
see, that's the problem when you have too many episodes and what's it called?
Canon.
When you have too much canon and you put all these episodes together and then, oh, wait a second, I forgot he was in Rebels.
But I don't understand how you could forget that. Because Rebels, that's where the Grand Inquisitor is introduced.
I know, but
and that's after Obi-Wan if you go by the Star Wars timeline. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, so well, I'm of the opinion that the Grand Inquisitor's going to be fine. He's probably getting operated on. Vader's probably fully aware that it was her, and he's probably using Third Sister, and when the time comes, Grand Inquisitor will deal with her.
Probably.
A loose end. I think she's just being used by Vader to get to Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So they send out these probes, and one of the probes, of course, make it to the mining planet, and in a very fast amount of time. And you have Freck in the transport arrive to a checkpoint with stormtroopers. Mm-hmm. And basically, Freck goes up to the stormtroopers like, yeah, I think you need to check these 2 out. There's something strange about them. So Freck is obviously in bed with the Empire.
Right.
He comes across as a nice guy, but this mole person or this rat person, maybe that's why he looks like a rat.
Maybe.
Because he's a Micah Bell, I guess.
Right.
And so Imperial Pro Droid shows up, and Obi-Wan is forced to fight back.
Yeah.
But instead of pulling out his lightsaber, he pulls out a blaster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he does quick work of the stormtroopers and the probe droid.
And he's still very uncivilized.
Very, very uncivilized.
But another scene that did happen that we forgot to talk about, that they were walking before they run into Freck, is a scene I thought they were going to do more throughout the story. Maybe they will in parts 4, 5, and 6, is that he sees a vision of Anakin in the distance.
Oh, yeah, that was like at the beginning.
And I thought that's what it was going to be about. Like, maybe Obi-Wan and Vader never actually encountering each other physically, but having this psychological warfare, where they're constantly like having this back and forth mentally.
Yeah, like they did with like Rey and Kylo Ren.
Yeah, exactly. That would have made more sense. and it would have kept the continuity of the original trilogy, like New Hope, intact. Even though you could kind of skirt around it, where Vader says, "This is a presence I have not felt since." He didn't say, but then he says, "When I last left you, I was the learner, but now I'm the master." I know that's not exactly what he said, but that once again implies that their last encounter was Mustafar when he got chopped up and burnt and left for dead. But the other thing I cannot believe is over a 10-year period, Vader has been out there serving the Empire as its enforcer. And how does Obi-Wan Kenobi not know that Anakin's alive? Because he knows that Anakin had taken the name Darth Vader. In the hologram, at the Jedi Temple after Order 66, him and Yoda are seeing like the Emperor telling him, "Rise, Lord Vader." Mm-hmm. And he even says something. He even calls him Darth Vader, I think, in the fight.
Yes.
I believe that's correct. I could be wrong about the fight on Mustafar between Anakin and Vader at the end of Episode 3. But I am aware that Obi-Wan knows that Anakin Skywalker
He has to know. He saw it on the hologram.
And the way they make it seem is that he's shocked that Anakin's alive.
Yeah, that was kind of dumb. Like, he should know.
Yeah.
At this point. Well, it makes sense. He literally saw with Yoda. And I think that's it. I think that's all the times he saw the name Lord Vader on Anakin.
Yeah. I mean, at least once or twice we were fully aware of it. And even Yoda says it. Gone, young Skywalker is consumed
by Darth Vader.
Exactly. He knows that Lord Vader, Darth Vader, Anakin, same person. He knows that. 10 years later, he should still know that. And you can't tell me that the Emperor's had Vader sitting in a Bacta tank for 10 years. No way.
No.
He's been out there enforcing the will of the Empire.
I guess what he does is just like Boba Fett, where every time he's done, he goes in there.
Yeah, probably. Because obviously he was badly injured after Mustafar. And, he probably has to go in there to replenish. But he also has his chamber aboard his Star Destroyer. Of course, we don't see the Star Destroyer yet. But
I think that's in EP5.
The
Super Star Destroyer?
EP5. The Super Star Destroyers. But before that, he has his own regular Star Destroyer. I forgot what it was called. But anyways, we're getting off topic a little bit. So Vader dispatches the 3 Inquisitors, Stormtroopers, and himself to Mining Planet. Obi-Wan, Leia are rescued before all this stuff happens by a fake Imperial officer. She's Tala. Okay, yeah. She rescues him. She was the contact, but she was late. And she takes him to this hidden place, this room that's hidden past this droid building.
Builder thing.
Yeah. There's a droid called Ned. He's just like a loading droid. And
yeah.
They have a hidden wall. They go into the room that's hidden behind this room. A room
between the room.
Yes.
Or in the room.
And it's implied that they have kind of an underground railroad with Jedi and other people that are Force sensitive. And Quinlan Vos is supposed to be involved in this. We never see Quinlan Vos, but he is mentioned. And he was another Jedi during the Clone Wars. So he clearly survived Order 66. And I guess she's part of the Path. I guess that's what they're called. They're not the Rebel Alliance yet, but there's obviously resistance groups out there resisting the Empire.
Right.
And so she's in contact with the pilot that's supposed to get Obi-Wan and Leia off Mining Planet. And then, of course, the Empire shows up in this little village on Mining Planet with the Inquisitors, Stormtroopers, and then, of course, Obi-Wan starts to freak out.
Yeah.
You can tell that something's really bothering him. He's feeling a major disturbance in the Force.
It's like a major PTSD on his face.
Yeah. And credit to Ewan McGregor. That was phenomenal.
Yeah, he did really
His
good.
performance. And who shows up?
Darth Vader.
And what's happening as he's walking down the street in the small mining village?
He starts, murdering civilians and villagers and trying to provoke a reaction out of Obi-Wan.
Because he knows Vader. He knows Obi-Wan's there somewhere.
Yeah, he can feel him.
He's literally force choking people out of their homes.
Yeah, exactly.
And breaking their necks with the Force.
Their necks. I actually was surprised that Disney did that.
Yeah, me too.
Because usually they're all friendly.
Yeah.
But the fact that it shows Vader just literally getting a guy out and then the kid snapping his neck. Because the father was it the father?
I'm assuming it was the father, I guess. But then the boy, I guess,
They both died, basically.
They both died.
And then he was dragging somebody by the dirt with the Force. And basically he was just trying to bait Obi-Wan out. Just like, Obi-Wan, all these people are going to keep dying if you don't come out. But Obi-Wan couldn't do it, so they all died.
And Obi-Wan decided to, I guess, lure Vader out to some sort of mining area just outside of town in order to give Tala and Leia a chance to get through the tunnel and get to the spaceport and get to the pilot and get off mining planet. I guess back
that was the mission.
Yeah, back to Alderaan.
But for some reason, this is something that pissed me off. Now I want to go to the Tala and Leia section.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, this is something that pissed me off. Like, oh, Leia, you keep going. I'll go get Kenobi or something like that. Instead of I
think Leia convinced Tala to go back for Kenobi.
Yeah, but literally Obi-Wan said like, hey, please take Leia to Alderaan. Yeah. Please.
Yeah.
And forget about me. Just take Leia.
Yeah.
And no, it's like, no, turn around, go get him. Mm-hmm. And it's like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
And basically at that exact same time as that's literally happening, I'm gonna move to what's her name? Reva.
Third sister, yeah.
First sister. And she sees the droid getting out.
Yeah, there's two confusing things happening here. So you have Tala. It looks like a one-way tunnel, unless there's...
It looks like a one-way tunnel. I didn't see any other pathways.
So Tala would have had to go back through the tunnel.
Yeah.
Back through the secret door, the secret room that leads to the secret tunnel, back into the droid room of this building, and then back out into the village in order to go, sneak up and eventually help Obi-Wan escape.
Yeah, exactly.
So that part we don't really get an answer to.
No, you're just supposed to go with it that she somehow managed to make it through, or I guess that she make it there before Reva arrived at the actual place.
Yeah, and it's weird because, like I said, Obi-Wan lures Vader into this dark, creepy mining area with mounds of dirt and stuff, and that is actually a pretty cool, haunting, scary scene.
Yeah.
You can look on Obi-Wan's face, and he's not the same Jedi he was in the Clone Wars.
No, he's rusty. He's freaked out.
Yeah.
He hasn't.
He's struggling.
He hasn't brought out the lightsaber in all this time.
Yeah, and he's struggling. Just like in part 2, in the warehouse, he's struggling to debate whether or not he wants to use it.
Yeah. You can see his hands shaking. It's really good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he has no idea what to do.
Yeah. And he has this, I guess, like you said, he has this PTSD going on. And then all of a sudden, Vader just walks up casually. And then he lights up his lightsaber. And then Obi-Wan runs off. And then
wait, what?
Vader's then he just unlights his lightsaber. Okay, whatever.
Okay. What else?
And so Vader starts taunting him.
Yeah, that's what I wanted more. I wanted more mind games.
Yeah.
But apparently, it never happened. Maybe they said one thing or two to each other.
They did. Whenever they confronted each other again, Obi-Wan did finally turn on his lightsaber, and Vader did as well. And then, Obi-Wan's what became of you? What happened to you?
What have you become? Yeah.
I became what you made me.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So, and then of course he's no match to Vader right now
at the moment,
and he's just desperately trying to fight off Vader's blows. You know?
And you can see Obi-Wan really struggling because Obi-Wan has to hold the lightsaber here or with two hands, and here it's just Vader just hitting him with one hand. Yeah. So it's not like it takes much.
And Vader's clearly not trying to kill him. He doesn't want to kill him.
No, he wants to torture him.
Yeah. And
which we go to the path of the actual torture. Yeah. Where basically Vader's trying to recreate Mustafar.
Yeah, basically.
Again.
Yeah, there's this box, right, with I guess rocks that are
flammable.
Yeah.
Flammable rocks.
And so he lifts up Obi-Wan in the air. Not only force choking him, but kind of holding him in air.
Yeah, basically.
And Obi-Wan drops his lightsaber. And then Vader all of a sudden knocks down with the Force the rocks,
of highly flammable rocks, and they catch on fire.
And he uses his lightsaber to set them on fire.
Yes. And then after that, he's basically trying to drag Obi-Wan into the fire so he can burn him alive, just like he did to him.
Yeah, and he basically says that now you will not.
Your pain's just begun.
Yeah, you will now suffer as I have.
Yeah, but he just I guess he was sitting in this fire for like 10 seconds and something, so he just got like major burn injuries like on his arm.
Yeah, it didn't
And
last
that's
very
it.
long.
It didn't last very long. Then after that, he started getting shot.
Yeah.
By Tula.
Yeah, Tula was up,
Tala.
Tala was like up above them with a blaster. So somehow she managed to get from the tunnel, sneak around the Inquisitors, including Third Sister and Stormtroopers, and get up there. Or maybe there's like a secret like tunnel we didn't see.
Maybe.
Maybe.
But you think it would have shown it, but okay.
They didn't.
But yeah, then she goes up there and she has a blaster, and you think she would shoot Vader. But
Yeah.
one thing I expected, like if she did shoot Vader, is that Vader would do this one thing with his hand.
Like Kylo does.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Kylo does, and then basically she would be force choked out.
Yeah.
And gets revealed.
Because the moment like she decided to leave Leia, I just thought she was dead. Like basically
I thought the
this
same
character's
thing.
done.
Yeah. I remember your reaction when I first saw it. It's like the first likable female character, and she's gonna get killed or something like that.
Yeah, but somehow she doesn't get killed, and somehow Ned Loader Robot shows up.
And picks up Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and like there's like this fire between Vader, Stormtroopers. On the other side of the fire is Ned Bot hauling away unconscious Obi-Wan. I'm guessing they also picked up his lightsaber, I guess.
Something like that.
And like Obi-Wan is just standing. He's just being like carried off to safety, and the loading bot doesn't go very fast.
No, it's very slow.
Yeah, and Vader's just standing there. I mean, it's like, I don't know, maybe it's the fire. Maybe it just reminded him too much of Mustafar, even though basically he lives on Mustafar in his
More
castle.
PTSD.
Maybe it's PTSD from Darth Vader's point of view, right? But he's the one that set the fucking fire.
Yeah, so it makes no sense. Just literally, or what I was thinking is like, you could just force through the fire.
Yeah.
And then bring him to me. Oh wait, there's all this fire and
Yeah.
the stormtroopers are cannot get him. Okay, well let me just do this. All right, I got him out of the droid, or just lift the droid, like lift the droid and then just break him.
He could have smashed the droid without any effort.
Yeah, okay, droid's out of the way. Obi-Wan, get over here, back again. We gotta put you in the fire.
It's almost because I think even Vader used the Force to put the fire out. Even
I
before
think you can do that.
he did, like when he was burning, like he burned a little bit of Obi-Wan's arm or something.
Yeah, the right arm got completely burned.
So obviously he didn't want to like burn him completely right there. He wanted to slowly.
Yeah, slowly torture him.
Yeah.
But no, it just so happened that they got distracted and the droid got him, and that's it.
I bumped my arm against the desk.
I
think I'll survive.
You'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
But then something stupid.
Back to the village where we have Third Sister.
Yeah. She discovers everything.
Yeah, somehow she realizes that hey, there's something about this one building of all the other buildings in the village that's where this droid area is.
Yeah, and it's like, oh wait a second, let me go enter here. Oh, well, there's nothing here. Oh wait, look at that, it's a secret door.
Yeah.
Somehow she just finds it, and yeah, you could say she's force sensitive, but still, I don't buy it. And then she goes inside the secret room and she sees like the rebellion symbol and she gets freaked out.
No, she sees the Jedi Order symbol.
The Jedi Order symbol?
Because remember, the rebellion doesn't exist yet. There's cells out there like Saul Guerrero's partisans and the Path, which is what Tula's part of. There's various factions. They haven't united together under the Rebel Alliance. But the logo she saw that kind of freaked her out was the Jedi
Jedi
Order
symbol.
of the Jedi Knights. But there's obviously she saw the writing on the walls from
different Jedi,
Quinlan Voss, and others that have been saved by the Path. So
right,
she's obviously aware that this has been used previously for some degree. But what okay, I'm gonna let you talk about the stupid part.
Okay, so after she finds the secret room,
what else does she find?
She finds the button to activate the pathway.
Yeah, to the secret tunnel.
To the secret tunnel. It's like, well, how the hell did you even find that? Like, well, to be fair, the button is a big glowing red button.
True. But she didn't put much effort looking around the room, just like, it's just like, give her more effort, make it a little bit more challenging for her.
Yeah, no, what she just did is she's just standing there, and then she's just like, let me look down here. Oh, there it is. And let me just press it.
Yeah.
There. Oh, look at that secret tunnel. Great, let me go through it.
But she doesn't go through it. That's the part that's really ridiculous.
I guess it's implied that she goes through it.
She doesn't go through it.
Oh.
Because like we said, it's a one-way tunnel unless there's like a third option for Tula to get up to that mining area outside of
Yeah.
town.
It's weird. It's really weird if you put all the pieces together.
And I think Leia had a pretty decent, even though she's a little 10-year-old girl, she had
No,
a...
she could have kept going. If she was out running those bounty hunters from the first episode,
that stupid forest
or
chase.
the second episode, like
The
she
first
could
episode,
It was the first one. Okay, then if she was running away from the first, she could easily have gotten to the pilot.
Yeah, and she knew that her life depended on getting to that
So
pilot.
she was hauling ass,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
Yeah.
We fine. But yeah, then
She gets to the end of the tunnel
gets to
where
the end
where
of
the
the tunnel.
pilot's supposed to be.
and guess who's there? Somehow.
How?
There's no teleport. There's no
No,
forced
it's not
teleport-
Star Trek.
It's forced teleportation.
Like, I mean, Third Sister could have deduced that the tunnel led to the spaceport. I guess. But how did you get there? I guess she used her awesome, like, forced running and jumping that she did in part 2.
Or she lightsaber helicopter up there.
Helicopter. Because they, like, the Inquisitors can't do that with the...
Yeah, she has the ability. I think she only has one blade though.
Yeah, some of the other ones, like, Fifth Brother has
The 2 blades.
Yeah, so he could do it, but she can't do it, I don't think.
Okay, so anyways, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe she's like, oh, okay, let me go outside for the tunnel and let me see where this tunnel leads to, and let me just use my my lightsaber helicopter.
I guess.
Gets up there.
But yeah, I mean, so she ends up getting to the spaceport before Leia, killing the pilot, and then of course she has a little conversation with Leia, like, "Am I the one you're supposed to meet?" And then of course she's like, "No, but I'll take care of you." And then Leia realizes, because she sees the dead pilot on the ground,
Yeah.
and she's not fooled, so she runs back through the tunnel. And now you have Third Sister pursuing her into the tunnel. Come on.
Yeah, and even if she tries to run away, hey, oh my gosh, she's running away. Wait, where are you going?
Yeah, she clearly knows how to use the Force, so Third Sister could just grab her with the Force and pull her back.
Yeah, it's like, no, you're not going anywhere. Let me force grab you.
Yeah.
All right, you try to run away, little brat. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. It doesn't make sense. It's just these plot conveniences and
It's so dumb. And then the episode just ends.
yeah, it just ends.
It's like, well, okay, how long do you have to wait? A week?
Yeah, we have to wait till next Wednesday before we find out what happens in part 4.
Yeah.
And somehow Obi-Wan and Tula and Ned the robot managed to walk away.
Yeah, they're still.
And then-
they're all still on the planet,
And then Fifth Brother in the village is freaking out. He's gone. He's got away.
and we'll never find him again, or something like that. Where's that coming from?
Yeah.
Like Vader was.
Yeah, Vader's
know.
literally there, and stormtroopers are there. You have 3 Inquisitors.
It's a line that came out of nowhere.
And the planet, there's probably at least one Star Destroyer above this planet right now. Probably more than one, because, you know...
It's Obi-Wan.
Yeah, because it's Obi-Wan, and plus you have Darth Vader there as well, which is up there in the hierarchy of the Empire. You know, up there with Grand Moff Tarkin and the Emperor himself.
Yeah.
So you think that Vader would at least bring one Star Destroyer and squadrons of TIE fighters, you know, surrounding the damn planet.
Yep. But no, that line just came out of nowhere, and
Yeah.
we'll probably never even know what it means. Like,
Yeah.
it's just thrown in there, and it's like, oh, well, okay.
Yeah.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Yeah. I really think that it was a mistake for them to actually have Vader confront Obi-Wan. I think that for what it is, in a way they did it correctly, because 10 years have gone by. Obi-Wan's obviously tried to, I guess, literally bury being a Jedi along with the lightsabers in the desert of Tatooine. And he's rusty. He's older. I get it. But I feel like it hurts A New Hope.
Yeah.
I don't think it adds anything to it.
Yeah, no, it's just, it feels filler.
Yeah, it's filler. It's just filler for the sake of filler, you know, because of how successful Mandalorian was, and, you know, Boba Fett was Boba Fett, and Disney Plus is obviously the main engine now for Disney, you know, because they're focusing more on Disney Plus with MCU and Star Wars, and it seems like they're getting away from theaters because more people are into streaming now, like Stranger Things.
Stranger Things season 4 on Netflix.
Yeah, so this seems to be the way it's going. And that's one reason why I applaud Tom Cruise for saying no. You know, I want to put Top Gun Maverick in theaters first and foremost, and it's doing really well right now. So there's obviously still viewers and audience out there that wants to still go to theaters despite the pandemic, despite the age of the streaming wars. They still want to go sit in a theater and, like you, enjoy some popcorn.
Yeah.
watch a movie.
It feels nice to always get out of the house every once in a while.
Yeah. Not everything has to be streamed. But...
Yeah, sure, it's easy.
Yeah.
And it's, because everybody can be in their own home. Okay, well, I guess I'll just sit on the couch and pop in some Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
Very easy.
Yeah.
Because you have to plan, okay, well, we have to go to the theater. Okay, so we have to plan this and plan the tickets and get over there. And
Yeah.
I guess it's a little bit of a hassle depending on where you are, but...
Yeah.
And I can see why this is easier.
Yeah.
But still, the theater still exists, and it's sometimes nice to go and actually see the movie on the big screen.
Yeah, I agree.
Instead of on your house.
Yeah, but in conclusion, I think that, I think Ewan McGregor did a good job. I think the actress is playing Leia, comes across as a convincing 10-year-old version of Leia. And Third Sister was not as bad as the first two parts, but still there are things that happen with her character that just seems very convenient.
Exactly. Yeah, I hate that. It's so annoying. For example, what she did in episode 1. She was trying to interrogate Obi-Wan. No, not Obi-Wan. Owen.
Yeah, she was she was threatening to kill Owen and his family, even though Owen had openly said that, look, I don't like Jedi. They're vermin to me, and if I see them on my farm, I shoot them.
Exactly. And then she could have used Force Read Mind.
Yeah, because I talked about this in part 1 and 2. Is in part 1, she doesn't feel Obi-Wan's presence. She can't read people's minds, but in part 2, she can.
Yep. And now then you have all these conveniences of knowing where everything is.
Yeah.
For her, oh, wait a second. This is the hideout that Obi-Wan was hiding. Let me go through here. Oh, this is the secret room he was in. Oh, secret button. Oh, let me go
secret tunnel. And the secret tunnel must lead to...
Yeah, but how do you know? How? And you would think, what is the brother theme?
Fifth brother.
You would think he would sense it too.
Yeah.
Because they're force sensitive. Okay, well, what? Can he sense his hideout as well?
Yeah, they should have all freaking beelined onto...
No, it's only her.
Yeah.
It's
I get it. Jedis each had different strengths and weaknesses in the Force, but I'm just not buying it.
Yeah, no. And she's supposed to be the lowest rank out of the bunch, so he's supposed to be better.
He comes across as stronger because when she walks into the room with fifth brother and fourth sister, he basically uses the Force to freaking
He didn't even use any hands. He just did it with his mind.
So it's implied fifth brother is stronger than third sister, but it was also implied that Grand Inquisitor was stronger than third sister. It's just it doesn't make sense. If Grand Inquisitor was stronger than third sister, then she would have never been able to strike him with a lightsaber.
It's real weird.
Yeah.
I don't buy it.
It's just plot armor, inconsistencies, and it's cool to see Obi-Wan back and Ewan McGregor back in the role, and there's things I like about it. And part 3 was better than part 1 and 2. We got Vader, so that's cool.
There you go. Yeah.
And James Earl Jones, he actually sounds better as Vader in this than he did in Rogue One. He actually sounded a lot older in Rogue One for some reason. I don't know why, but I
don't remember.
Okay, well, I guess from radio I kind of can tell a difference. I mean, it's obvious he's in his 90s, and I was surprised it was James Earl Jones because I thought that they would just, if they were to have Vader talk, that it would just be somebody that sounded like James Earl Jones. But or maybe it's James Earl Jones and they're using some sort of audio software to help with the aging to make him not sound old like he did in Rogue One. Because you put the way he sounds in Rogue One compared to the way he sounds in New Hope, there's an obvious difference. I mean, he still has an iconic voice, of course, but... But yeah, I don't think the fight should have happened. I mean, it wasn't really much of a fight, though.
No, in my opinion, in order to be way better, it should have been just mind games.
Yeah, psychological warfare between Anakin and Obi-Wan, mostly Anakin.
Yeah, just
and this intergalactic cat and mouse game from planet to planet. But I don't know. I mean, what do you think is going to happen in part 4? Real quick prediction before we move on.
Okay, so what I think is going to happen is in the first half hour, I think Obi-Wan and Tala and the robot are going to try to get Obi-Wan off the planet somehow. And at the same time, Obi-Wan's going to be like, no, we got to go rescue Leia. Leia make it to the ship. And it's I don't know. Let me contact the pilot. Oh, the pilot's dead. And now it's going to be a wild goose chase of him chasing Reva so he can get to Leia. And then Obi-Wan. Darth Vader is going to try to be in the background, just, okay, Reva's gonna say, like, hey, I got the child, good. And then he's gonna be like, use it to lure Obi-Wan and then meet me here.
Yeah.
And then the whole episode is gonna be about Obi-Wan chasing Leia.
I just don't know how part 4 can play out. You know, the planet's on lockdown, unless like an element shows up. Like maybe they allude to Quinlan Voss. Maybe Quinlan Voss will be in part 4 and he comes in and helps. But right now, Obi-Wan and even Tula and Ned, despite those three, are seriously outmatched.
Yeah, there's just no way. They have like a couple Star Destroyers. The entire Empire's down there.
Not the entire, but enough a garrison of stormtroopers and 3 Inquisitors and a Sith Lord.
I got a question.
What?
Okay, so I don't think Senator Organa appears in episode 4, right?
Well, he kind of appears.
Okay, well, what could happen is that maybe Senator Organa goes down there.
Yeah, and maybe he negotiates with Vader to get his daughter. Because at the moment, Vader obviously has no idea that Leia is Force sensitive, let alone his daughter.
Yeah.
Because that's the interesting thing, is that
doesn't he turn? He knows about that in episode 6.
it's because of Luke. Luke, he reads Luke's thoughts, and this is after Luke finds out that Leia is his sister through the Force. At the moment, Leia's not really showing that she's Force sensitive. Now, it has been implied that she can read people, and I think that has something to do with her metachlorian count and being Force sensitive, but it's like it's dormant to the point to where, like, for some reason the Force is protecting her. Maybe Yoda's protecting her.
Maybe.
I wonder if we'll see Yoda, or at least hear Yoda speak to Obi-Wan.
You know what'll be weird?
What?
If they have like this one little session where Darth Vader sees Leia for like 5 seconds, and he's like, she feels really familiar.
Yeah.
Why do I feel like this presence feels familiar?
Yeah, but that wouldn't work because when we encounter Vader and Leia aboard Tantive 1 at the beginning of New Hope, he's like, you weren't on any mercy mission this time, Your Highness. So obviously they have a history, because she's like, Darth Vader, only you would be so bold. So I get the feeling that when Leia does encounter Vader here, she might be scared at first, but then all of a sudden she's going to be like, Darth Vader. She's just going to show her sass like she's been doing, you know?
Yeah.
But I mean, that's Leia, so I kind of expect it from her. So I think the actress that plays young Leia is doing all right for a 10-year-old. I mean,
yeah. It's just Reva that I'm having issues with.
Yeah, and look, I want to like Third Sister, I really do. And I know there have been some instances of racism towards the actress or sexism, but I feel like the majority of the criticism is
towards the character.
The character. And Star Wars and others are deflecting hardcore. They're trying to make it all about racism and sexism, when we've had strong black characters, strong POC characters, strong female characters in Star Wars. And yet the majority of Star Wars fans perfectly happy about it. Even as Star Wars points out, yeah, there's 20 million like sentient species in Star Wars. We know this. Most Star Wars fans are cool with the idea of other sentient species out there besides humans. So why do you always have some of your main characters be humans?
Yeah.
Disney? Lucasfilm?
You could just work a little bit on the makeup department and not even make her human. She could just be like Ahsoka.
Make her a Twi'lek. Make her a Twi'lek, like a dark side Twi'lek. There you go.
We haven't had that yet, have we?
Well, there is one in Legends that's a Sith. And, well, in Legends, she's dressed up kind of...
slutty?
Yeah, kind of, sort of. So she obviously has some simps out there.
Okay.
But anyways, as a villain, she has potential. Just like all the other Inquisitors do, which were, by the way, introduced in Rebels. The Inquisitors didn't exist prior to Star Wars Rebels. And I find that ironic if they're choosing to retcon the death of Grand Inquisitor in Kenobi, which takes place before Rebels. It just doesn't make sense to me. But overall, a little bit better Part 3 was than Part 1 and 2. And maybe Yoda will show up. Maybe he's the one who shows up. He hops into a space pod off of Dagobah. He senses that Obi-Wan needs help. He shows up. He gets into an epic fight with Vader. That'd be kind of cool. I'd like to see that.
I'd like to see it too.
And then
it would be entertaining.
And then they'll hop into Yoda's pod, and then they blast away, and Vader's all pissed off at Yoda. Yoda! I will never speak about him ever again throughout the original trilogy.
There you go.
Which explains why he never talks about Yoda. He always talks about Obi-Wan has taught you well, Luke, but no mention of Yoda.
Nope.
There you go. That's how you explain it. Is that he gets his ass whipped by Yoda on Mining Planet, and that's why he doesn't want to even talk about Yoda.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, so that's pretty much it for part 3. Is there anything else you wish to add?
No.
Okay, so I think that's it for us. Right now, I would rank probably part 3 the best of the 3, part 1, then part 2.
Yeah, that was my same rank.
Yeah. I still hold out hope halfway through. Hard to believe we're halfway through the miniseries with 3 more parts left. That this is the best we've gotten so far. But
I don't know. Like, now that I think about it, really, 3 more episodes. The way the episodes is let up right now.
Yeah.
Where the way the status of Obi-Wan and Darth Vader and everything right now, really 3 more episodes.
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel like it will take a little bit more, maybe 10, 20 episodes?
It feels like this is the climax, and they've done this before in previous. I think in Mandalorian they did this. In Book of Boba Fett they did this, and then all of a sudden this is as far as it can go, and then it's all downhill from there. That's my concern for parts 4, 5, and 6.
Maybe.
I hope I'm wrong about that because it is Deborah Chow directing these, all 6 of them, and I do think she's a good director, and hopefully at least she has. You could say she has some control. Hopefully, unfortunately, I feel like there's some Kathleen Kennedy influence probably,
Yeah.
but I hope that 4, 5, and 6 keep building on it and making it better. And
Do you think episode 4 might be the make it or break it point?
it could be because right now, I mean, there are things that they have done that are borderline retconning. If they've actually killed off Grand Inquisitor, that completely destroys Rebels.
Yeah, and the way my prompt too is the way they killed him.
Yeah, it was so pathetic.
It's so dumb. Yeah.
And I don't think they killed him because I think I was watching Star Wars there the other day, and the Pauans, I think that's their species off Utapau, they have 2 stomachs. And according to Star Wars theory, he was only stabbed in 1 stomach.
Well,
So I don't think he's dead. I think he's going to show up right at the end of part 5. He'll show up, and then there'll be this thing between him and Third Sister or something.
Third Sister. Wait a second. How are you alive?
Dun dun dun. But I think we've gone on a little bit longer than planned for part 3. We do apologize, but obviously we had a lot to say. I think we covered everything.
Yeah, we did. When it comes to that episode specifically, which is what we came to talk about.
Yeah, the psychological stuff I like between Vader and Obi-Wan, and I think that's where this should have remained. No actual fight.
Yeah.
But just forced psychology between Anakin just taunting him. Because that's the way, when we first saw that vision of Anakin by Obi-Wan, that's where I thought they were going with this. And I'm like, hey, that's what I want.
It would have made perfect sense.
Yeah,
and it would have been way better.
And it still shows how powerful Vader is he's able to strike at Obi-Wan from light years away, all the way back on Mustafar.
What I'm hoping is that they do this in episode 4 too.
Yeah.
As well. For example, Obi-Wan gets away, he has this whole PTSD still, and he starts seeing Anakin talk to him.
Yeah.
Or something while he's down. It's see, Master, and always love to see you like this, or maybe he's in flashbacks.
Oh, one more thing. Also, Obi-Wan's also trying to reach out to Qui-Gon.
Yeah, that too.
And yet he wouldn't.
Qui-Gon said anything in this episode.
Not yet, but there's always the possibility that they may have gotten Liam Neeson to voice a few lines, maybe. But what about Yoda? Reach out to Yoda. He's out there on Dagobah just chilling.
Yeah.
But maybe Yoda will show up too with Frank Oz voicing him. Hopefully.
We'll see.
But yeah, that's it for part 3. I hope it turns around in part 4, 5, and 6. But at the moment, I'm
not holding your breath.
Not holding my breath. But anyways, that's our views, our opinions, our review of part 3 of Obi-Wan Kenobi. If you haven't checked out my part 1 and 2 review, feel free and do so. Link below in the description section. Plus, I have a Star Wars playlist on my gaming channel. Check out Riley's channel. And join us next week as we review part 4 of Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Bye-bye.